friendships are about one of the only things we take very seriously, and we actually expect them to last a lifetime, so to us, it's okay to be a bit picky. But maybe I'll get more into the topic of how you need to make friends in another video. Meh. The time has come. Hey there, beautiful faces! Today I'm going to give you the #1 most requested video since I said this out loud. As a Dane, you don't need to be constantly making new friends because you are very satisfied with the close friends you already have and maybe have had since forever. Yeah, I can see how that could make you lose all hope, and really, I don't blame you. If I have to be completely honest, I've been pushing doing this video for a long time because, well, not even Danish people know how to make friends in Denmark. This is new territory for me as well. But luckily, through all the research I've been doing, I've discovered that I'm one of the best examples of why it's hard making friends with Danes. I've had to look deeply within myself for this one, and before getting fully into the video, I have to disclose a few things, so let me get my glasses on for effect. Not all Danish people are the same, and there will always be an exception to the rule. Throughout this video, I will be generalizing a lot. And if what you've read and heard until now didn't make this clear, I have to say, I am Danish myself. Isn't it sad that in this day and age I have to disclose things like this for others to understand that I'm aware that all people are different? Thank you, 20 specific as fuck 18. Title screen. So, you want to make friends with Danes, do you? Yeah, that intro is getting old. You want to make friends with Danes. Too aggressive. Do you want to know how to make some Danish friends? Too Swedish. Do you want to know how to make friends in Denmark? Just keep watching. Yeah, hvis du vil have nogle danske venner, så bare se med. Isn't it cool how I've been telling you to watch something you already know you're watching for a minute now? Quality content! So as a start, compared to a lot of other countries, making friends in Denmark require you to take your time, make some extra effort, and have a lot of patience. And most of you guys' question would probably be, why is that? Well, the short answer is it's cultural, and as everybody else, we learn our general behavior from each other, and could end the video right there, but that wouldn't be helpful now, would it? So let's start with how Danes in general view new people or strangers. I constantly mention this in my videos. Danish people do not make an effort to interact with strangers in their everyday life. Danes tend to mind their own business when they're casually out running their everyday errands, and so for many Danes, it can be very awkward and very much out of their comfort zone to talk to strangers. But then how do we define strangers? Like, is it a person you've had no interaction with before, or is it also a person you just don't know very well? Like an acquaintance. The truth is, most Danes don't see much difference between the two because in Denmark, both strangers and acquaintances are just people we don't know well enough to want to engage in conversation with. Let's say you're recognizing a Danish person whom you don't know very well, like maybe you work for the same company or go to the same school, and you're recognizing them somewhere in public. I assume the general nice thing to do for a lot of other nationalities is to go over there and make some casual small talk, like, how are you? The weather sure is nice today, right? What are you doing here at the supermarket? I can almost guarantee that the Danish person you're recognizing has already recognized you and actively decided to ignore you, hoping that you would do the same. It's fine to say hi if you get eye contact while walking by, but the polite thing to do in Denmark is to not force trivial conversation. The Danes are a very honest and straightforward kind of people, like get to the case and do so without zigzagging, so small talk can quickly become kind of fake and very awkward if you're talking to a Dane, and most of us won't even bother acting our way through it. Why on the parking lot of my building? Why are you doing this to me every time? Maybe I just don't notice whenever I'm not recording. So to sum up, what I'm saying is that you haven't passed the stranger danger line just because you've met the Dane several times before. The only immediate difference between a stranger and an acquaintance is that it's not that weird to say hi, but it's still somewhat uncomfortable. Or it can be, at least. Also, don't force small talk because you'll just give the Dane a reason to keep ignoring you. Not because of you personally, never because of you personally, but because they want to avoid the awkward conversation when all they really wanted out of that afternoon is to go buy some groceries. Get to the case and do so without zigzagging. To make it simple, strangers, don't talk to them unless you need help. Acquaintances, take it slow, start with only greeting and maybe, throw a joke in there once in a while when it fits. If the chemistry is right, someday the Dane will come to you. Sounds very much like a dog. But Louise, if Danes don't really talk to strangers and acquaintances, how do I even begin to make friends with them? I see your point, and I'm getting to it. But first you need to understand why Danes can be kind of distant towards people they don't know. Yes, Danes are in general a very private people when it comes to talking to other people we don't know very well, but that's not the main reason we're hard to make friends with. The main reason most Danes are hard to make friends with is because most of us have already established our friend group, and friendships are not a casual thing in Denmark. Friendships are actually expected to last a lifetime, and they often do, and therefore naturally most adult Danes have already given away all their friendship invitations. Like, the cards have been dealt. All positions have been occupied. The last piece of cake has been served. The train has left. You're on it, but all the seats are taken. This is getting depressing. I'm not helping, but I'm getting to it, I promise. What I'm saying is that many Danes are still friends with people they go far back with, like high school, primary school, scout patrol from back when they're 10, like even kindergarten. And that's both a hard shell to break through as an outsider, and it's a hard shell to pull someone through as someone on the inside. Danes also distinguish a lot between different types of friends. Like, you have your venner, which means friends in Danish, and they're the ones you hang out with alone, the ones you plan private trips with, the ones you randomly take with you to the bar on a Thursday night. You know, the ones you can just be yourself 100% around and do everything with, you know, the term friends. Then you have your neighbors, your colleagues, your classmates, like people you spend a lot of time with and socialize a lot with. People you appreciate. They're extremely cool people and you really like them, but you don't hang out with them alone. You just don't plan things exclusively with them, so you don't really call them your venner. That doesn't mean that your actual venner, whom you plan things alone with, can't be a colleague or can be a classmate. Because they can, and more likely than not, they are. But again, just because you're someone's colleague doesn't automatically bump you up to the position of friend in Denmark. Being a Danish person's friend is a very exclusive club, so how do you get into that club? I'm glad you asked. Oh, I'm so annoying. To find an answer to this frequently asked how to befriend a Dane, like a Dane question, I had to look deeply within myself. And Google. Seriously Study Copenhagen gave me many helpful aha experiences. Anyway, the answer is simple. You need to catch the Dane at that specific time they're ready to talk to you. And that's not in the supermarket. It's not at the bus stop, and God forbid, in the bus. It's not when they're out walking their dogs, and it's certainly not when they're standing in line for anything. Healthy tip, avoid Danish people standing in line. It's a cocktail made for disaster. What was I talking about? You need to catch the Dane at that specific time they're ready to socialize. Danes rarely meet their friends in public situations like on the street, in a bar, at the mall, etc. Most Danes meet their friends through work, school, hobbies and sports, you know, bonding over bigger life activities they have in common or just hiding behind them. Probably a bit of both. Let's say you've signed up for flute lessons. Yes, that's where my mind went. Anyway, you've met this Dane at flute class and you just clicked. The Dane will rarely consider you a direct friend the first many classes, but that's just until they feel like they really know you. How this usually goes down, like I'll divide this into stages for you. Am I making a recipe now? I so am. Stage 1. You do this particular activity alongside one another for a while, which leads to casual chatting and both of you sharing some laughs. In stage 2, it'll proceed to casual socializing, still related to that particular activity you do together. And that can be accompanying each other to and from that activity, or having a bite to eat before or after, and so on. In stage 3, you take on public socializing together, but still not just the two of you. You're still getting to know each other. These social things are often a party or a trip for the people of whatever activity you attend together, because this is a great way to get to know the Dane while still in the safe context of what you have most in common. Flute lessons. Because no matter how much you've clicked, with most Danes you just need to be patient and let the friendship develop naturally. I just noticed how crap my lipstick looked like mid-sentence, so I tried to fix it. I don't know if it still looks like crap, but oh well. Anyway, back to stage 3. Stage 3. I really have a hard time saying that. Stage 3. But something to add to that stage is that alcohol do tend to speed up the process of it a lot, but it can also be dangerous waters if brought to the table too early, because if you haven't yet stepped completely out of that stranger danger zone, there's a 50-50% chance that the Dane will actually be more embarrassed about their drunk social actions than remember the good time you had. To get to stage 4, you probably need to be the one to take initiative, because Danes rarely invite newer friends out for, let's say, coffee, since it's more of a way to catch up with older friends they already know very well. So if you feel like you've had a great stage 3, you can safely ask the Dane out to do something social together, which is separate from your common activity. The Dane will say yes if they're interested and ready to get to know you fully, and from there on, congratulations! You have a friend! And I don't even think I have to explain much about stage 5, but that would of course be good friends territory, where being together just comes very naturally. And there you go, that's the 5 stages of befriending a Dane. So again, to sum up, find your potential Danish friend when they're out socializing themselves, like school, work, hobbies, sports, and other activities alike are good places to start, but still be patient. The title of friend is not casually thrown around, so let the Dane get to know you at a natural pace. Another great tip for finding friends is find Danes who, like you, are not from the city they live in. Let's say you live in Copenhagen. So find Danes who've also just moved to Copenhagen. They are much more common than you think, and they're also searching for new friendships close by. Also, personally and from experience, I think it's a myth when people say just to catch the Danes while they're drunk. Yeah, you'll have a new friend, or many, very quickly, but those friends will disappear on you just as quickly together with the morning vomit. Trust me on this, Danish people know how alcohol works, and we also know that one of the side effects of alcohol is called friends with the world, but just like the bus, we know it only lasts until dawn. If we had to maintain friendships with every cool person we've met while drunk, wow. Facebook would have to have a much higher friend limit, I'll tell you that. Last, I want to mention, as some sort of end note, a few minor things about how common friendships with Danes work, because it might be nice to know what is mainly expected of you. Like, it sounds so negative when you put it that way. But hey, culture makes us all act a certain way and expect certain things of other people, and, well, Danes are no exception to that, so you might already have caught up on this fact. If not, I've done a poor job making this video. Friendships are not casual. Danes take friendships very seriously, not to say that other nationalities don't, but as I mentioned before, we actually expect them to last a lifetime, and so many of them actually do. As a foreigner, we expect you to maintain the relationship you've built with us, even if you have to return to your home country at some point. And now that I mention it, this is probably also one of the bigger reasons why it can be so hard for foreigners to find Danish friends, because the Danes know you're just going to disappear on them at some point. You know, the whole deal with what's the meaning of establishing a true meaningful friendship if chances are high that it'll only last for a very short time. That's a thing to add. And another thing to add is that the Danes are in general a very punctual and organized people. In Denmark, you make plans with your friends, and you usually do that weeks in advance. Like, adult Danes are very busy people. At least we like to think we are. And you don't cancel these plans unless you're sick, because the Dane has 100% taken these plans into consideration for everything else they've planned that week. So canceling won't be taken lightly unless you have a very good reason. So that's my recipe and advice to throw at you if you want to befriend some Danish people. Second disclaimer. If any of the previous statements has hurt you or your Danish cat's feelings, I'll let you know that if you as a person don't already know that I know, the truth is there's no direct recipe on how to make a Danish person befriend another non-Danish person, then I'll only go as far as to apologize to the cat. I'm an animal person. Also, if in some way misunderstood the first time, I am Danish myself. Oh, Jesus Christ. That was not a fart. I swear it's my upstairs neighbor, like, moving their chairs. It's insane. I can hear everything they do up there. Anyway, for all the friend hunters out there, just remember, if all else fails, just yell skål. That'll always give you points. And that's all. Leave a thumbs up if you like this video, subscribe to me if you want more, and hit that bell button because I really want your beautiful face to get the notification for my next video. The heart came too late, I know. Sorry. I'll get it right next time. Bye!